Hey guys, it's all that jazz. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, we're on the road to 1K, so go ahead and join today by clicking that
subscribe button.
Yes. Welcome back, E. He ain't been on here in a second. So today we're talking about for better or for worse, and just what we say, like an update on marriage life, things that we've learned so far in marriage, what has worked, what hasn't worked. So let's start with the things that are for better. So I feel like one thing that's improved in our marriage a lot that we have like great from the beginning is communication. But I feel like when we used to argue differently, and I feel like we argue better now. Does that make sense? We communicate more maturely now, and in that instance I feel like now you know how to maturely tell me that you don't want to talk about something, versus like before we both might ignore each other, or we both might just not try to discuss whatever the issue is at hand. And I feel like we've gotten better in that area. What's something that you think we've gotten better at?
Knowing our roles. You know, I think at least like for me, you know, well, actually you told me the other day that clearly I didn't do a lot of cleaning and stuff in the beginning, or helping out with the boys. I disagree with that, but
no,
I just
he
go
did
off what
not.
you say. I don't remember.
No, I bet you don't.
A blur.
It was a blur when they were born.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I feel that we've absolutely improved on. And him accepting, like, I think you improved on accepting when I come to you to have a conversation about me asking for what I need you to do more of or to do better of.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when
now
you say,
I don't get offended by it, but I used to get offended by it.
Yeah,
like I'm out here working all this time, and you just at home with the boys. Like, some of this stuff got to be done. But having the boys by myself more often, I understand that it was probably a little bit more difficult. It was a little bit more difficult than I thought. With you just being at home with the boys all day. Yeah. And I was out working, so I used to take it as a slight. But now, you know, I know to make things run smoothly, I have to be more involved. Yeah. And I've been conscious in my effort to be more involved. You know, getting the boys dressed, picking them up from school, giving them baths, making their food, making their bottles, changing them, you know, going out play with them, whatever. Right. You know, so I think that's really helped our marriage too. Yeah, like, yes. I think it's also changed in the aspect of, like, because I am now working, it's like, okay, now the responsibility really does have to be split between you and I. You know, like before, like you said, when I was kind of more so staying at home and doing Instacart on and off, it was like, well, you know, since you're not out working a 9 to 5, all this like should be kind of done, was the expectation, even though it shouldn't have been. But now, like you said, you see when you're with them, and I think this is us kind of like talking about marriage and kids, though, not solely marriage. It's part of the marriage. For kids, part of the marriage, exactly. So understanding like what we need from each other and expressing that, versus just walking around like upset or, you know, feeling some type of way about it. And I'm just like, look, this is what I need from you. And also he's told me things that he needs me to do, you know, to keep the marriage working. Yeah. And things of that nature. So like having my plate ready when I get home. Yeah. He likes to working out consistently. Working out consistently, having the plate ready, and coming to me with a good attitude. Yeah. I don't do negative energy at all. Right. I don't. That's one of my top things. I don't do that. Yeah. If I come to him like on a level of like hello, then I already know he's like already defense. Like, yeah, he's not accepting it. So then I do have to check myself and be like, oh, you let me come to him calmly. Like, excuse me, sir. Looks like you didn't do this, but could you go ahead and do that, please? Thank you. Yeah, pleasant attitude. Yeah, will take you a long way. Another thing, you said roles. Another thing I feel like that has changed for the better. I think making goals. When we first got together in a relationship, we always just would like say things like, I can't wait to live together,
or I can't wait for us to start a family. But like we didn't set concrete goals. Like this year, we really did write down our goals. We did last year too. Yeah. But these are like more defined goals, and I think trying to come at things together versus like individually or apart or whatever it might be. Like we're both like, I have my individual goals, you have your individual goals, but we know that the only way this is gonna work is if it's achieved together. We working to get things accomplished together.
I think, like I told our friends yesterday when we went out with them, you know, life kind of hit us when we were told by a couple of realtors? Are they realtors? That mortgage lenders that we, you know, we had too much debt to get a house. You know, we had to have more, instead of these broad, oh, next year we want to get a house. Yeah. We actually had to break down how we would, you know, get a house.
Go about it, yeah.
You know, so that, you know, we started brainstorming things, you know, towards the end of last year. Of how we would do, we started taking our money more serious.
Yeah,
you know,
we did.
Saving, investing. Kind of one of the things that helped us with all our other goals. Now we're just breaking everything down step by step now. Yeah. You know, how we want to, you know, run the family. How we, you know, how we want to get a car. How we want to start our next business. We're just, instead of just throwing it out there as a goal, start a business. Do this. Okay, now how are we going to start the business? Right. How are we going to, you know, continue our podcast? How are we going to get a house? You know, how are we going to be debt free? You know? Yeah. You know, and that kind of keeps us motivated and keeps the fire burning because instead of just one broad goal, under that one general goal is 10 steps on how to do it. So now we got to do the steps. Yeah. You know, and I think the good thing about us is that we always looking to get better. And that's kind of just how we connect. You know, because we always looking to improve, you know, ourselves individually, but also our circumstances. You know, key. Which I think is very key. You have to have that in a marriage. Yeah. Because you don't want to get lax or complacent. Complacency breeds content, and then that can breed, you know, you and your spouse not getting along. Right. It can breed, you know, little things starting to get to you. So you don't want those type of things in your relationship. Right. You know, you want to always have a goal to go to. Right. No matter how old or how successful you are or how down you feel, have a goal to reach. Yeah. I think another good thing is that we keep each other in check when it comes to meeting those goals. Like, even with recording, he'll be like, oh, okay, so you said you was gonna record today? Okay. Or if he's always gonna go to the gym, so that's not anything I really have to like check him on. But I might be like, you remember you said you was gonna clean, or you was gonna pick up the boys, or you was gonna help me cook today? You know, like we're holding each other accountable, you know, around here. And I think accepting also when you tell me things that I might not want to hear, or I'll tell you things that you may not want to hear, and it's tough at that moment, but then we'll come back and be like, I mean, you right, you know. And just that accountability is like super important in the relationship. Another thing, so like moving on to like, we was for the better, trying to change for the better, and then even going through the worst, or we won't say the worst, but going through like trying tribulations and challenges for us specifically, would definitely be kids, because that was a new for us, and I think was new for us. And I think last year, he might not feel like last year was like something, but I feel like it was something. But I think some of our hardest things that we went through in marriage is really trying to grow and keep our marriage together with children. And that means like them going through sickness and just trying to push through that, because y'all, a sick household is a hard household to be in, because everybody just gets sick. Everybody just sick. So it's you taking care of me, or I'm taking care of you. We take care of the boys. The boys don't really know how to fend for themselves completely yet, so they're like, we still need mommy and daddy to keep going. We still need mommy and daddy. Yes, more clingy. Extra care gotta be taken for them. Yeah. You know, we probably went to urgent care. Like we didn't been over the summer. Mostly nights. Exactly. Through the daycare times, like just a lot of things that we don't expect. And that last place you want to take your kids is to urgent care. The last thing you want to be worried about is your child's health. So I think that's why that was really
those moments are really trying for us and probably made us stronger, you know, as a couple.
And wiser too, because now they sniff or sneeze.
Yeah, we are on
They're
it.
Drinking a concoction.
They're drinking a concoction.
They getting some medicine.
So
we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And even like, I think about it now, how now, like back then, like let's say I come from the gym. You know, you come from the gym, you know, you're hot, you're sweaty, you just go to the car. But now I don't take risks. Like I will literally put everything back on.
Yes.
Put my jackets on, put my new shirt on.
Yes.
Put my sweats on. Yes. I'm coming back bundled up.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to get sick.
And get your family
And it's not
sick.
just, you know, not being able to go to work, but I can't get Jazz sick.
Yeah.
You know, I can't, because she do a lot more around the house than I do, because she's home a lot more often than I am.
Yeah.
And I can't get the kids sick, because that affects both of us.
Yeah, right.
It affects them, it affects us.
Yeah.
It affects, you know, her mom, my parents.
Yeah.
So I have to be wise, you know, I have to make sure I'm washing my hands all the time.
Yes.
Or I'm always clean, or everything's getting washed.
Right.
You know, if I'm sick, you know, if somebody's sniffing around the house, you gotta wear a mask.
Y'all, this
You
is
know,
the through
not sharing
sickness and
food
health
with her.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, this is sickness through health.
Yeah, because even though like it's not the worst, of course, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I think that when, like you said, first sniff, first cough, blah, blah, blah. But even for me, like both of us, I'll be like, look, you think you have a sore throat? Be honest with me. You think you're like remotely not feeling well? We're putting our mask on. Like we're not out here playing. And even if no one leave ours sick, because then sometimes they get sick, bring it home, and then that shuts us down. And yet we still have to keep pushing, you know. So we'll be like, look, mask up, mask up. I'll be like, you gotta sleep on the couch, I gotta sleep on the bed, or whatever we're doing. If we know for sure, like, let's not wait until we're like, oh dang, because that's what you used to do. He used to wait until like his body would just shut down, he's aching, and I'm like, now you knew 2 days ago your throat was sore.
Yeah.
You knew it.
And there's another thing too, like I don't be out, like think about a day like today.
Yeah.
Like I was just resting today.
Yeah.
Because I worked every single day of the week.
Yes.
So I was,
to
you know,
body.
tired. Instead of me trying to push through, oh, let me go hang out with my friends, or let me go to the gym. Let me just lay in the bed, relax, you know, play the game, and just have some freedom. And so, because I know for me, I will usually push. You know, 21 nights like Future said it, or no, 52 nights like Future said it, and next thing you know, I'm sick for the next 2-3 days.
Yes.
And I can't, like I said, I can't afford to be sick.
Yeah.
Because it affects everything else that we have going on.
Right, exactly. And that's what I've had to tell him, that rest is okay, because y'all, he used to believe rest is for people, other people.
Yeah, that's for people, and
not.
that's not the P word I use. But
No.
y'all get it.
Rest is necessary, y'all.
Rest
And that's
necessary.
how, remember when one day the kids were at your house, and I mean at your mom's house, and we rested the whole day, and we were able to like finally rejuvenate and be like, okay, we're back to life again, because we were trying to like fight through our colds without getting any extra sleep. And when you're not feeling well, you need that rest, you need that extra sleep.
Yeah. A lot of sleep is better than medicine sometimes.
Yeah, facts. That's true.
Depending
like,
on what you have.
Exactly, because I would be like, we just can't shake it. Like, but I do remember that day and being like, wow, I needed that. We needed that 8 hours of sleep. Like, we both just took off work, slept the whole day. Telling y'all, rest is key. Yeah. And even for the boys, sometimes I'm like, all right, today I gotta stay. I would have times where I'm like, okay, I gotta stay home, because I know they're gonna need a extra than that 2-hour nap they might get at daycare or whatever. Like, I need to let them sleep, and they want to be with mommy, and they want to, you know, all that stuff. But outside of the sickness and in health,
me not wanting Jazz to go back to work.
Oh yeah.
Now with me running the company, when we first started floating the idea, you know, we're trying to speed our way through paying off our debt. And there was a point at a time last year where the income was kind of stagnant. You know, so everything's going up. You know, inflation is hitting everything. So the extra money that we were used to having wasn't there as, you know, as much as it used to be. It wasn't as plentiful. Yeah. So it was, you know, the idea was floated. I was like, I mean, I don't want you to go back full time, because we got to put them in daycare. Daycare is gonna be expensive.
Yeah, and it is.
Very expensive.
Yeah. And
I was like, you know, I just took it as a shot to my ego and how I felt about our company. I was like, look, our company is going to increase especially with the holidays coming up. Like, just be patient.
Right.
But, you know, that wasn't getting paid. You know, we didn't have as much surplus as we used to having.
Paid.
Yeah. So, you know, then she ended up taking the job. I wasn't too pleased about it.
He wasn't.
You know.
You were.
But it kind of, you know, those are the type of things where you say, I may be the head of the household, but, you know, your wife can make wise decisions too, because that's, you know, why I married her. Yeah. Because she's capable of making those smart decisions. And maybe my ego was too much where I didn't see what she was seeing. Yeah. You know, I'll talk it down like, no, daycare gonna be this much, you ain't gonna make this much. It still is.
Yeah. Like he has valid points. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I'm all in my paralegal mode, like, no, this is and just going through everything. But you know, she's seen the light, in which I couldn't see. I had this stunner shades on, so I didn't see it. You know, I couldn't see. So and it was one of those things where it didn't need to be a big blow up. Yeah. You know, I just said, okay, well, she got let's see how this goes. Yeah. And it was probably one of the smartest decisions that she's made.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was one of our things too. Like, we really have grown so much, but I remember us trying to work through that situation, and of course, like, you know, we're still trying to get through life and all that stuff. But I do remember those moments and those conversations and coming to you and being like, should I do this? And another thing about me is I am very, very indecisive, like back and forth. And I'll be trying to tell people not to be like that. But I think it was just kind of like, hey, this is what you want to do. And daycare, we have 2 children. Daycare is going to be high. And y'all, we still trying to figure out daycare, to be honest with y'all. But like, you know, just making that decision because now I've been promoted, and so that was cool. We never know like where I'm going to continue to grow within the company. But the business grew too. So, you know, things have gotten better. And there's always, you know, a light at the end of the tunnel, like you said, but not each one of us is going to see that, because there's been decisions that he's made that I'm like, why? What sense does that make? That, like, money none. Is zero.
Because if you have 2 different, we have the same goal but 2 different avenues
ways of getting there. Yeah, exactly.
And that's but things like that shouldn't be like a blow up, right? You know, it shouldn't be. Not what I'm saying. Well, we didn't have the blow up, but I'm saying for people in the similar situations in their relationships, it shouldn't be a
end all, you're saying?
It shouldn't just be the end all be all. Right. You know, maybe give some consideration to what the other person is saying. Yeah. You know, you have the opportunity to just see how it goes and where it takes you. Yeah. You know, if it don't work, you can be like, I told you so, and then do what you thought, you know, plan A. Yeah, because he did tell me, he was like, all right, let's just see where it goes, you know, like, and if it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, or I thought it was going to go, then that would be on me. And it's not to say he would have been like, it's all your fault, let's point fingers. He's never been that type of person. He's not the type to point fingers or blame or anything like that. But I think that the decision that we made has been for the better. And of course, we still have other goals that we're working on and trying to accomplish. And I just think that it's going to help us get a head start on where we're trying to go on this journey. And you know, we still want to be able, I feel like a lot of the decisions we're making right now will impact and affect how we will be able to, what position we'll be in life in the next 3 to 5 years, especially with Noah and Levi. And like, hopefully with the economy, like inflation and all that goes down or whatever. And even if it's doesn't go down, we're still in a place to be like, okay, we can keep thriving. We can keep, you know, not just surviving. Huh? Inflation not going down. You don't think so? Well, hopefully we just continue to be in a place of not just surviving but thriving, because jeez. But yeah, I just continue to think about like, where do we want them to be? Like, I want to be able to be home with them. I want to be able to be like, sure son, let's go here, let's go here, let's go do this. I don't want to be like, oh well, looking at our calendar, it looks like we only got $200 left this month. So I just don't want to be in that space. And Very tough space to be in.
Yeah. And it's like just grind until you get to that point.
You don't get there.
Yeah, and eventually we'll get there. And sometimes it feels like we're missing out a little bit. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes it does feel that way, but then I'll remember like what we're doing this for, who we're doing this for, and the results that we'll see within the next, like, you know, you see people in interviews like since 2012, and it's like 15-20 years later they're like doing so amazing because they put in that work. We watched a documentary where, what was she make? She was selling jewelry for like 15 years. Remember the girl?
Oh, from New York?
Yeah. And she just like blew up or whatever. Like she was homeless. Like it was very like dramatic story, but it took her a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully that point comes for us, you know, sooner than that. But anyways, I think that sums up this video. For better or for worse, just giving y'all a dibble dabble of some of the great things that we've overcome, some of the hard things and challenges that we've experienced and gotten past. And if you're still here, make sure that you subscribe, like this video, share if it was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.
And I'll see y'all in a couple months.
Right.